We back and better than ever. It is Sleepless with Steve live on YouTube. We come to you live and in living color every Wednesday evening, 6:30 Central Time, or a little bit tardy because of the catastrophic Midwest storm that hit me up here earlier this afternoon and just mollywopped y'all. I see a lot of light in your room, though, Dominic Guanzon joining me as always. I see a lot of light in your room, so I think things have lightened up. How you doing?
Yeah, it's lightened up significantly. On the way home, it didn't, but certainly now. So yeah, I'm all right. Literally, as you were dealing with those issues, I was like, oh well, glad it's not here. And then I'm like, oh yeah, no, the way the
Oh,
clouds
it's
go.
coming. It's coming. It was a nasty one. This was probably the worst storm in a while out
Hmm.
here. Just in terms of destruction and shit. There's still a lot of this city without power. Even going into like hour 5, hour 6 and stuff. And this was a brutal one. I was hoping it would weaken by the time it got to you guys, by the time it moved further east. But be that as it may, no Giuseppe tonight, no Joe Viso, but we are here to talk Scary Movie. And you know what? I'm calling it Scary Movie 6. I know why they called it Scary Movie. It's like, making fun of the reboot trope, like and Scream 5 is just Scream. It's fucking Scary Movie 6. I'm just getting that out of the way. I don't know how you're going to refer to it, but it's Scary Movie 6. And I'm still in the back rooms because I like being in the back rooms. So that's that. Anyway, though, we are talking. I know we're a little bit late to start, but I don't think this thing's going to take a ton of time to discuss. This is Scary Movie 6. This is the long awaited question mark sequel with the Wayans brothers returning. Now, there's a great video. I don't want to rehash the whole thing here, but there's a great video when Marlon Wayans, it's a great interview in general, when Marlon Wayans was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay, um, and talked about for the first time publicly what happened and why the Wayans family, Sean, his brother, and his older brother, I think oldest, Keenan Ivory Wayans, who was the director of the first two movies, why they weren't involved with Scary Movie 3, 4, and 5. And it was weird because back then it's kind of hard to imagine now, but we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have the internet. So like you didn't know unless you had like the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, you really didn't know. And I went back cuz I rewatched all 5 last week. Catherine and I sat down and rewatched all of them. I went back, I was reviewing them and everything because I'd never really formally reviewed them. I reviewed them all. I found an original review, or I found an original article in Variety in 2002 that confirmed the production of Scary Movie 3. And the headline was Wayans Out on Latest Scary Movie. And there was no details, even from Variety, which is one of the most connected publications. All they said was, for reasons unknown, Sean Marlon, Keenan Ivory, and Craig Wayans, who was a producer, aren't returning on this one. It came out later. Marlon revealed it. Shocked he stayed as silent as he was for all this time. But Marlon came out and said, no, it was, what was his quote? You could thank that evil bastard Harvey Weinstein and his ugly twin brother Bob. And talked about how essentially they lowballed them. They were going to pay the Wayans the same amount of money they were going to pay for the first Scary Movie. They lowballed them. And what the Wayans did was they had their concept for white chicks. What they did was they took the white, when they got lowballed for Scary Movie 3, they said they'll think about it. They took white chicks to Sony, got the bag from Sony, and told the Weinstein Company to go fuck themselves. That's what they did.
Okay.
And the Wayans stayed busy because they made Little Man after that. They made Dance Flick after that. The Wayans stayed busy, so the Wayans had business, because they had a proven concept. But still, the Scary Movie franchise continued without them, and it was. If you stop watching these movies after Scary Movie 2, you're not missing a ton. I still stand by Scary Movie 3. It was a childhood favorite, as probably pathetic as that
Bro,
might be to say.
no,
But
honestly, Scary Movie 3, I think it might be my favorite. Which is
really,
which
okay.
is really funny because it's the one without the Wayans, I know, but like it's got that that influence. Oh Jesus, Leslie Nielsen
Yes.
influence. And it's like, man, I love it because that's the same time. At that same time, I was watching the Police Squad movies and stuff like that. So for me, that it just felt like a continuation of that line. I was like, yeah, it's got Leslie Nielsen in it. It's got to be great. Charlie Sheen from Two and a Half Men, he's going to be popular forever. So we're good.
I'm gonna bring up. I've probably brought them up in passing on the show, but not recently. I hate to bring up these two bastards, but like Scary Movie 3, rewatching it again, felt like the last dying breath of the spoof genre in a good way. Like because Scary Movie 3 was the last full-length parody movie to predate Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer. Date movie, epic movie, Meet the Spartans, disaster movie, vampires suck, and then the whole genre went to shit. Like our commercially and artistically went to shit. Scary Movie 3 also feels like that last dying breath of like Airplane, PG-13, somewhat family-centric, but a little racy, but still acceptable brand of humor. I think Scary Movie 3 is really funny. I think it's also part of my hatred for Signs that makes me like that movie
There are
as much
so
as I
many
do.
good gags. I'm sure there's good gags in all the scary movies, and we'll talk about that in this one. But it's because it's got David Zucker on it. That's why it's got that
Yes.
influence. In addition, I don't know if you mentioned that, but the scene where they're out, it's like towards the end, they're out and they're struggling and they have shovels. There's some really good gags. It's like the shovels, and then he hits one of the aliens with and they takes his head off with a shovel, and it's like,
Yep.
guys, I found their weakness. If you take their heads off, they're useless. Another one, it's like, let's go get them. And he cocks the shovel like a shotgun, and a shell ejects from the shovel. Is really good. Anna Faris, when she's like, all right, let's fight, bitch. And then she like revs up a chainsaw, but it's just extremely simple gag that could be in any movie, right? She
There's
revs the
great
chainsaw.
absurdist. There's great absurdist humor.
Yeah, but it's not a chainsaw; it's a leaf blower. I'm like, that could be in any movie. That's just good. That's just genius. It's basic. It's great.
There's some great moments in Scary Movie 3. I'm glad, like I said, Catherine liked it a lot. She's seen it before and everything like that. But it was great to share that too, because we both grew up with it in a way. Because I saw that in theaters. Mom actually took me to the theaters for Scary Movie 3. So it's one of the early theater memories for me. But now I go with Scary Movie 2 as my favorite though, easily, because Scary Movie 2, and I know we're going to talk about the sixth one, I know, but Scary Movie 2, watching it back, one of the things that's so great about Scary Movie 2 and why it's better than the first, Scary Movie 2 is a concept movie. There is a plot. It is probably, I'm not saying it's plot heavy, but it is actually a tangible plot with the movie. There's a reason for what's going on. It's not a really, it's not a reason that's going to stand to water, but it's you know what I mean? There's a reason for its existence. It essentially parodies the movie The Haunting. And it peppers gags, certain scenes, long scenes are devoted to like Charlie's Angels parodies and stuff. But then there's little shit between the characters, like the Chris Elliott and David Cross. Chris Elliott as Hanson, with his deformed hand, and David Cross in a wheelchair. Them fighting about their disabilities. And one of the best, probably the best line delivery in the whole series, Chris Elliott, when they get in a fight with David Cross, who's in a wheelchair again, Chris Elliott saying, I'm just going to walk away now. Walk away. There's so many good bits in Scary Movie 2. All that long wind up to say, this movie sucks.
Okay.
Sucks hard. Sucks hard. And I'm gonna after the long wind up to keep the baseball analogy going, I'm gonna swing for the fences here. And I've watched all of their movies. There has probably not been a less successful writer, director, and actor pairing than Michael Tides and Marlon Wayans. There has probably not been for a team that has linked up as much as they have and produced less. There has not. Michael Tides and Marlon Wayans, they have worked on a Haunted House 2, Naked, Sextuplets. None of it works. None of it works. This is far closer to Scary Movie 5 than it is Scary Movie 2. And maybe Scary Movie 2 was a high bar to hold this movie to, absolutely. But this movie, like Scream 5, like Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, like Good Burger 2, only worse. This generated the excitement when it was announced and disappointment upon seeing the final product. Because this thing sucks. This thing is on the level of a Friedberg and Seltzer parody right here. Very, very bad. What say you, Dom?
It really does amaze me how they're able to get away with making movies. It's actually worse than Adam Sandler. It's actually worse than Adam Sandler.
Yes.
I
agree.
I don't know how they're able to do it, because I mean they had initial hits, but then even by the 90s, the end of the 90s, it just felt like it was coming apart, right? Or sorry, well, the first Scary Movie came out in 2000, but even then, by Scary Movie 2, I'm like, man, we're still doing some of this shit. But the thing about Scary Movie is that, like you, I also think it sucks. At least in the first half, it sucks hard. But by the second half, something about it kind of switched on a dime for me. No, it didn't switch. It recouped some of its losses a little bit. We're still in the negatives here, but I don't know. Maybe it was that Michael Jackson parody where, like I was saying earlier, there are good bits in any one of these movies. Does it justify the 2 hours or whatever 90-minute runtime? No. But there are good bits. For instance, like I said, the Michael Jackson parody, which is an okay parody. You got Kenan Thompson in it. But
I can't figure out if the punchline came too late in that or what. I liked it. Once I figured out what it was, I liked it. I can't figure out if the punchline came too late in that or I missed it initially.
I think that punchline could not have been anywhere else except at the very, very end. And I thought it was a good punchline. I thought it was a really good punchline. That actually was the biggest laugh of the movie for me.
And you know what's funny is too with these movies is that you're not really critiquing, like, we've done this show for so many years. You're not critiquing like the art direction or the editing or anything like that. It really boils down to, did you laugh? Did you find things funny? What connected with you? That's kind of what we're going to be talking about here. You know what I mean? Just like nobody goes to Scary Movie expecting high art. It's like nobody approaches a review if you even care about the reviews. It's really just what you found funny. The line. So you said the Michael bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give away the punchline. The Michael bit was your favorite. That got the loudest laugh.
It actually, for me personally, it got the loudest laugh. And the theater was pretty empty. There were like 4 people in there besides me.
Really? The loudest, the best laugh for me, and these are probably, in my opinion, the 2 best scenes in the movie. The Get Out scene, the Sunken Place scene, and the K-pop Demon Hunters parody of Golden.
I was actually I was impressed by the animation in the K-pop
I was
scene.
too. Legit. I was legit.
I'm like,
the
wow,
animation was good.
This is where the money went.
But the biggest laugh though was not really tied to the setup.
Right.
The biggest laugh is, I'll say it if you catch this, was the line, I don't want to ruin the setup, but Marlon Wayans plays is the stand-in for Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out. It's his line when he says, like a civil rights hose. That was the biggest laugh for me because that was funny. I'm like, holy shit, that could be a bar in a rap song. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, and there is, if I could talk about the few positives, Anna Faris, Regina Hall, whose bit is kind of like an extended bit of the movie Ma with Octavia Spencer, which is kind of forgotten, I feel like.
I didn't even catch that one.
That was a good movie. That's Octavia Spencer's first and only lead role in her entire career. Fun fact.
Wow. Oh wait, no, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Ma.
Yeah.
That really good movie, and I was kind of surprised. Like, not that they parodied it, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's a dated reference or just people don't talk about it. Like it's, it's not on the level of some of the other horror movies of recent years, but it's still really good. Anyway, Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Sean, and Marlon Wayans. It's great to see the core four back together. There is something really nice about seeing the four back together. But the movie essentially, kind of like the first one, adopts Scream as the identity. This is essentially really mostly making fun of Scream 5 and 6. The way that it's bringing back legacy characters, introducing a new crop of slightly developed but still underdeveloped younger characters, including Cindy Campbell, Anna Faris, Cindy Campbell's daughter, played by Olivia Rose Keegan. There's another character who's a parody of Wednesday. They call her Tuesday. Apropos of nothing, Olivia Rose Keegan, who plays the eldest daughter of Cindy in the movie, holy shit, does she look and sound like Anna Faris? Like it's not even that she
scary,
looks
yeah.
like her. Yeah, it's not even that she can look like they got the makeup to look like her, but she sounds like her in some scenes. It's kind of like one of the probably might be the sneaky best performance in the movie for nothing. But like, I'm like, there was a few times like her screaming or her like shouting. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you sound just like Anna Faris. That was impressive.
Yeah, honestly, that might be the best. No, Brenda Meeks is still the best performance in the movie. But
Yeah, Regina Hall.
but in terms of acting and impersonation, it's probably her just based off of how well they cast her as a straight up stand-in, younger stand-in, near younger stand-in. But for me, towards the second half and the end, when they started playing more with the idea that, hey, this Scream 5 and 6 parody, which is the main template that they're working with before going off in all these tangents, it's really just it's inverting the movie, where it's like, hey, we've got all these new characters. I think we're just gonna say screw it and just focus on the on the old characters, and while copying some of the plot beats of that movie. And it's a joke that they don't harp on too much, but I did like it. I'm not saying I loved it or that it was the most clever thing in the world, but at least it had something to say in that regard. Which, not to say that these movies need to say too much, but I do appreciate it. But it just comes in way, way too late. It comes in far too late. And all of these bits, they diverge. I think the substance is probably one of the better ones, with a fun reveal. How did you feel about that, Steve?
Not much.
Yeah.
Just like I felt like most of this was not much. Like the one that was incalculably underwhelming, to quote my own review at stevepulaski.com, was the long legs bit. You got fucking Chris Elliott, one of the most cherished people. I can't even say characters because he was only in one movie,
Right.
but one of the most cherished people behind Scary Movie. And one of the reasons that Scary Movie 2 was so good was Chris Elliott, who I think in the greater pantheon of comedy is very underrated. He did a great weird show way before its time. Would have been a hit on Adult Swim 15 years later. Did a great show called Get a Life. Look it up. Look it up when you can. You, Dom, and the audience, called Get a Life. Great show. But Chris Elliott was kind of front and center in the marketing, and he's not even the core of the joke of the long legs bit. I know you haven't seen long legs
No, I
either,
haven't.
so it's a little bit like, so it's a little bit challenging to go off of that.
They would do that all the time, though. Like, I feel like there's a lot of instances where they would take a joke and plaster it all over the trailers, and then it would be like a 30-second bit. In fact, they even released a trailer just a couple days ago, I think, where it was a backrooms, like just a passing reference to the backrooms. It's not even a joke. And then cut to the actual movie, because obviously they didn't have time to film a backrooms bit. But it's doing shit like that. That's I'm not surprised by it.
I would even say too. I mean, this movie came out in June. The Oscars were in March. They probably had to shoot that Tiana Taylor opening scene relatively late, given the fact because the joke is about her losing the Oscar, you know. But it's also doubly ironic too. Like there's parts of this movie too, and this kind of ties back to I think I teased it at the end of the last show. I said there was a point about Scary Movie I wanted to make. My big question going into this movie was like, when they made the first two, when the Wayans made the first two Scary Movies, it was in the early 2000s. It was right at we were still in the landscape where it's a lot of slasher sequels. There's Friday the 13th, 10, Jason X, Nightmare on Elm Street, petered off about a year before. Scream is now parodying slashers. Then you got Scary Movie, which is really just full-blown parody. Horror was an easy target to make fun of. My question going into Scary Movie 6 was, okay, how are they going to do this now when horror has been, for the last several years, recognized as one of the most legitimate genres and producing some of the best movies of the year? Like, now it's a landscape where Sinners and Weapons win Oscars. And now and a movie like Scream, even the recent Scream sequels, feel kind of archaic compared to what we're getting now, which is more original stories. Hell, Obsession and Backrooms are making all the goddamn money, more so than He-Man. Like, we're at the point now where it's really, horror is legitimized to, where even Final Destination Bloodlines was one of the most well-reviewed movies of the year. So my question was just going in, how are they going to do this? And the answer is not well. The answer is it seems like they were so excited, the Wayans, to get control of the franchise back that they had to tackle every single fluttering diversion idea that they had.
Because they have 13 years of movies to catch up on. Even more considering that they weren't in the other two movies, right? So they, to be frank, okay, actually, the thing I was talking about where it's like, oh yeah, getting rid of all the old characters, I like that like meta angle. But their other angle was, man, Hollywood doesn't have any original ideas anymore. Man, I feel like this would have hit like maybe 5 years ago. That really doesn't hit now. It really doesn't.
No.
We've been going through a horror renaissance, a new golden age. I should also mention that Weapons bit was actually funny. That was actually good. Where was all the kids who were high?
The whole Hollywood doesn't make original movies anymore thing, like you said, is kind of a dated point in itself. Yeah, you get He-Man, you still get Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake.
Moana.
You're gonna get Mulan. You're gonna get Moana too.
That's probably the most egregious one. Yeah.
Oh, easily, hands down. You're still getting them, but even now, like the Wayans have been removed from Scary Movie for so long that like the one notable. Unless, like I said, my attention waned for a minute and I missed any kind of gag. They've been gone so long, they missed the superhero era. You know what I mean? They missed the Marvel era.
That's insane.
And there's not really any jokes of that too, and that even feels like it's on the back end, or that is on the back end, just truthfully. But you get everything from Get Out to Sinners to Terrifier to I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's actually a really strong jab at that reboot last year, as well as another really pointed one against Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff, too. It's a really pointed joke for that. Smile, Megan, The Substance. The Final Destination background gag was kind of clever, I thought. It was amusingly clever. Almost makes you wish that the damn movie was set in the theme park, like instead of everywhere else. What's funny is you mentioned that you said the first half was really losing you, and the second half you kind of locked back in. I don't know. Like the first half was a lot of silence in my theater from Catherine and me. Couple people really laughing and everything, but a lot of silence. And the second half, I think, is debatably worse. The second half is when it really becomes a clip show. When it really becomes like, let's do a Sinners parody. Okay, there's no reason for this house party to happen. There's no reason for the three main characters, the teen characters, to show up at this house party dressed as anything other than themselves. why the hell do Sean Wayans, Marlon Wayans, and Regina Hall not recognize the three characters they've been interacting with the whole movie, all to do a sinner's joke? Like, all to do the sinner's vampire can we come in joke. Like, and that's when it feels really bad. Like the substance too.
They gentrified the Jeffersons. That wasn't a good joke to you?
Okay, that was a smile inducing moment. I will give you that. The moving on up gag. That I will give you. But there's nothing there though, and it's not connected.
Yeah.
Like you go back to the first two Scary movies, which are the most beloved, even the third one. It all serves kind of just a greater setup and plot. This is exactly like a haunted house and a haunted house 2. This is exactly like that, where it's just sort of a marathon of ideas that aren't cogently stitched together and just aren't very funny. They're just not very funny. The punchlines are cheap.
Yeah, that really, like, if you're looking at our review and saying like, you guys seem like you had a good time with all the bits you're praising, man, we're rattling them off in like 15 minutes. This was about 90 minutes of not a great movie.
There's so many the thing is though, it's like the law of what is it? The law of averages or law of volume. Like there's so much thrown. Like I would say like for every 20 sight gags / one-liners / jokes, there's like a smirk. You know, the only real laugh out loud bit for me was like I said, was the fire hose joke, which is part of the Get Out thing. Which, why did that make me laugh? It's clever fucking writing. You know what I mean? It's clever writing, which this movie just doesn't have enough of. And the other thing too is the Wayans should know better, because this was written. I say the Wayans. This was written by Marlon, Sean, Keenan Ivory, Craig, and Rick Alvarez. The Wayans need to know better that, like, and this is my opinion, depending on your style of comedy, it might differ. But just bringing up shit like OnlyFans, crypto, the Epstein files, they, them pronouns, just bringing that shit up.
It felt obligatory. It felt really obligatory. Yeah.
There's no joke there. It's just the acknowledgement of something that is something that's at the forefront of something controversial that's at the forefront of the culture's mind. There's no punchline there. You're just a character whipping out a manila folder of the Epstein files when they die is not funny.
It's a Family Guy joke.
Like
it's like a season 13 Family Guy joke.
Like they could have made a joke. I was just brainstorm off the top of my head. Shannon Elizabeth doesn't appear from the original movie. She's not in this thing. They could have made a joke like her character was Buffy in the first movie. They could have made a joke, where's Buffy? And then Shorty could have said, oh, she ain't there. I heard the bitch was in the Epstein files. That's funny. Now that could be something funny right there. Like, it's not a shot at Shannon Elizabeth either. It's a shot at the character.
Right.
Like, that could be funny. But just the mere mention of this shit is not funny. And that's where, like, the real, like, because the poster says every line will be crossed. That's where it really feels desperate, is the idea of, like, promising to go there and do something with it is just not funny. It's just not funny just because you mentioned it.
Yeah. It sucks because it's like, I don't want to be the fuddy-duddy who can't laugh at their own jokes or like laugh at jokes at their expense or whatever, right? And it's like, oh, you got butthurt over it, but it's like, no, I actually think they're not making a joke; they're just referencing it. It's just, it's like, hey,
it's not offense. It has to have, like, it's not even offense. It's not funny. Like,
yeah.
You know, like Family Guy, and Family Guy's not the beacon of humor, but Family Guy goes a lot of places that a lot of shows won't do. And it's often funny. It's often funny, some of the shit that they say and do, because of the fact that it goes there and it lands a joke. Dark humor, but it's a joke. There's no joke. There's no joke. It's just there. It's just lingering.
Yeah. You know, we don't talk about the score enough on our movies, and I won't talk about it with this one because I don't give a shit. Do you want to go to closing thoughts? Like, well, what else do you have to say?
I'm thinking, yeah, I was gonna say, I knew this was gonna be a quick one too, just because, like I said, it really boils down to, did this thing make you laugh? And clearly, the answer for me is really no. Um, the Wayans style of comedy too, what's disappointing, I go back to like Michael Tides, the director of this thing. I want to know why Keenan Ivory, who co-wrote the movie, didn't want to direct it. Now I know he's almost 70, and I wonder if that plays a role into it. But man, like the director of a comedy is very much a significant part of a comedy. And Keenan Ivory had a great way of like wrangling a large cast. And you could tell just by how one and two hold up. Had a really good way of staging, clearly had a vision. When you have Michael Tides, whose directorial career is basically a series of clip show compilations and like TikTok-esque sketches with a Haunted House 2, naked sextuplets, and 50 Shades of Black. I forgot to mention that
Oh
piece of
boy.
shit too earlier. I forgot to mention 50 Shades of Black. Guess what that's parodying? But with this movie, I just felt like the Wayans would know better and do better. Like, it just seems like they got so excited they had control of the series back and just did nothing with it. And we're just so excited to get every kind of idea on the screen. This is like the cinematic equivalent of a party guest who's like breathless for attention and laughs. They're like violently contorting themselves. They're like Bluto from Animal House. Like, and they like hurl themselves in every single direction, hoping to amuse, but instead they just embarrass themselves constantly with this thing. And again, I can't. Another reason I really wanted to watch the movies again and review them and give them a fair shake, these previous movies, is because it was like I didn't want to review this movie having not seen the previous one since I was like in high school and even younger, and thinking like, well, is this not funny, or am I just older? Am I just older now and experienced or have seen different styles of comedy? Do I just not find this humor funny anymore? I still find it funny. I still find Scary Movie 1, 2, and 3 to be quality comedies. This is bad. They go for broke and they end up bankrupt. It's 1 star for me.
It really goes to show that the principle of, yeah, you got to give the franchise, give the universe, give the series back to the original creators. Back, they got to follow the vision of the original. And it's like sometimes that doesn't work. It doesn't. And I know Michael Titus, I thought it was a joke when they were saying Michael Titties, but like for him, I really, obviously new director to the franchise, but for the Wayans, right? The Wayans really do have a lot of say in this screenplay, especially. But for me, it's a classic case of, yeah, bro, it doesn't always shake that way. Sometimes you do need fresh blood. And that's so funny because 3 and 4 were David Zucker, directed by the Zucker, right? The Zucker of parody fame. And Craig Mazin. Did you know that? The guy who did Chernobyl and Last of Us, who
Yeah.
wrote that, I should say.
Mason was all over him.
He was 3 and 4. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, yeah. I, I will say, last thing, I'll end on a positive note for a movie that's not good. Is
God love you.
is the streaming bit, and it did kind of get me. It did kind of get me.
Mildly amusing.
It was mildly amusing. And you know what? It had a very quick gag of like, hey, the point here is that I get paid to do nothing. That's a salient point that will be relevant for years and years to come, right? Hey, you know what? I'd love to be making money doing nothing on this goddamn show. I'd love that. But regardless, I gotta give this. I'm nice. I'll give it 1.5 star because the Michael Jackson joke at the end actually did get a laugh out of me. But that was probably after like 45 minutes of nothing, practically nothing, and like trying to force a smile. So that probably had a lot to do with it. Yeah, for sure.
You seeing this opening night, Catherine and I went Thursday night. There was probably about 20, 25 people in the theater,
Mm,
I'd say.
hmm.
Man, like, and again, we don't get a lot of comedies, straight comedies in the theaters. We've talked about this on the show for a long time now. They're just not as common anymore. And the ones that we've gotten recently, we saw The Breadwinner with Nate Bargatze this weekend too. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. That one was funny, and that was a family movie too. That was very amusing. That was very legit fun. More laughs than Scary Movie, hands down. But and last year we actually got a full length parody movie that was pretty damn good in The Naked Gun. So like even this genre we've seen done well in recent time. Man, when you're sitting in a theater, and there were a few people laughing sporadically, but man, when you're sitting in a theater of a movie like this that has constant rapid fire as like a machine gun of jokes or attempts at jokes, and it's nothing but silence, that is like an awkward, almost a borderline awkward experience
Yeah.
to be around, like looking around and just being like, oh, we're all in agreement. This sucks. Like, we're all in agreement.
It-
This
It's
really
it's
sucks.
it's
Like,
like they really just wanted to get to the legacy characters, and they didn't give a
yeah.
lot to the new blood to work with, which is so funny because they were doing that as a joke. No, they actually did it, and they killed their own movie because of it.
One of the only things, and you haven't watched the first two, the first movie, in quite a while, I would assume too. I did the only thing I didn't mention in this review, but I talk more about it at stevepulaski.com. I do think that Dave Sheridan's Officer Doofy was handled really well. I thought he was handled really well. Him being a retired police officer turned COVID shut-in was a very fitting gag, was a very fitting extension of his character. I thought that it didn't make me laugh so much, but it felt right. And I give them that. Sean went like looking back on it. You know who I think you know who looks fucking bored is Sean Wayans.
Yeah.
Sean Wayans as Ray. Like he's got that one long bit which is not funny. That's the part of the Sinners parody and the first Sinners parody in the beginning at the church. Where it's doubling down on the character Ray was always the gay guy afraid to come out of the closet. That's how he was portrayed. That's all he is here. And it almost feels like Sean Wayans, and I'm not trying to psychoanalyze here. Sean Wayans, though, Marlon's all in to his credit. Marlon is completely having a great time. Sean feels uninspired in this. He just doesn't look like he's having fun. And they didn't give him a lot to do either, which was disappointing because Sean and Marlon don't work a lot together. A lot of Marlon shit has been on his own. You know, somebody needed to give Marlon Wayans the talk that he gave Cameron Cade in Him. You are QB1. All the praise, all the hate is on your fucking shoulders. Somebody need to give Marlon Wayans the him talk.
Yeah.
On this one. Man, what a disappointment. Like I said, right now, if the year ended tomorrow, this is my number one for worst of the year. And there's been some shitty movies this year too.
You've seen 'em.
Like there's been some good ones. There's been some shitty movies.
We got 1
this year.
minute. We got less than 1 minute.
Oh, I don't have the countdown on me, so that's perfect. That's our show, Sleepless with Steve. We come to you live and in living color every Wednesday evening, 6:30 Central Time. Typically, next week, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day. The trio is back together once again to review brand new Spielberg. Dominic, thank you very much for hosting, as always. For Dominic Guanzon, the unseen but loved Joe Viso, and yours truly, this